We've got an awesome show for you today, so let's get started. Screw your freedom.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. And yes, China is set to invade Taiwan. My prediction, the big possibility, within 48 hours after Nancy Pelosi left the island, right, China invades. Now, why do I say this? Because there's no better time than right now. See, timing is important right now. Location is important in real estate. In Taiwan's location, well, it is right at this moment as well. It's right off the coast of China. China has been very bellicose for years and years about its relationship with Taiwan, claiming it's always been part of mainland China, was never independent. China has been practicing their invasion efforts, if you will. Right? The timing has never been better. China right now has Taiwan completely surrounded with its navy and is engaged in military exercises. The United States of America is as weak as it ever has been, with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi, right, as the 1, 2, 3 leadership. Give me a break. The Pentagon is more concerned about fishnet stockings, high heels, lipstick, and black nail polish for its military members, and putting on drag queen shows to raise morale. Europe is in a crisis of its own, between governments telling the farmers they can't produce food, governments telling the power producers you can't produce power. They're in a crisis, folks, in the middle of summer about not having enough hot water, heat, energy, because they started a pissing match with Russia. The U.S. also involved, of course. Right? My prognostication, my prediction, or rather warning of the potential is just based on the facts. It's facts. Europe is very busy and has its own problems and worried about Putin and Russia and Ukraine, right? Even though that is a very limited, small problem created. And of course, everyone in the world is so worried about what Saudi Arabia is doing to its neighboring countries. In fact, the world is not paying a bit of attention. The world doesn't give a shit about any atrocities unless it satisfies the power elite, the brokers in Brussels and DC, along with their cohorts in the banks, right? They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear about it unless it benefits them. So Europe is busy and it's weak. The United States is weak and very busy. And Taiwan is halfway around the world. And it's not, folks, in any position to defend itself, right, from China any more than Ukraine was going to be able to defend Donetsk and Luhansk from, being breakaway countries and supported by Russia. They can't do anything about it. They know it. They absolutely know it, folks. Now, the United States has a whole lot more to worry because the Russians just today stepped up their threats, right? So is the U.S. going to get involved if Taiwan is invaded? What if Russia makes a big move and retaliates? Well, we'll get to their retaliation here in a moment. Let's go back to Taiwan and China. China's military, its Air Force, has been buzzing Taiwan, flying into Taiwanese airspace. Just yesterday, they said there's no more median line As soon as Nancy went away, they said, there's no line. There's no protective line. There's no Taiwan waters. We're going to do what we want. They've fired ballistic missiles over Taiwan. Right? There are now hundreds of airplanes, jets, breaching the airspace. Right? This 5-day drill has commenced. At any time, they could go live, folks, and hit the beaches. Start dropping bombs, munitions, guided missiles. At any time, folks, their ships could load up the tanks on the beaches of China that are already there and stationed and waiting. And they could transport them across this very narrow strait. It's not a long ways, and take them over and start landing. What would the United States do, folks? What would Joe Biden do? Joe Biden says it doesn't recognize Taiwan's independence. That's quite a statement coming from the president's spokesman. It's quite a statement. Now, how does Russia play into this, apart from it being America's #1 concern, even though it's not America's #1 concern? The media would tell you otherwise. Russia says the United States government, the Pentagon, is now directly involved in the Ukraine war. Folks, that's saying, you guys want to fight? We'll fight you. Igor Konashenkov, right? Russian Defense Ministry spokesman, said that the cooperation between the United States government and military and the Ukraine military proves, contrary to the assurances by the White House and the Pentagon, that the United States government is directly involved in the conflict. In other words, they're not just supporting the Ukraine fighting effort, they're participating in it, right? Quote, it is the Biden administration that is directly responsible for all Kiev-approved rocket attacks on residential areas and civilian infrastructure in populated areas in Donbass and other regions, which have resulted in mass deaths of civilians. That's the accusation, folks. Is it true or not? I can't tell you. But what we do know is that the new HIMARS missile systems, right, they require a lot of support. And they use, well, satellite and other surveillance imagery to locate and direct their strikes, missile strikes. Well, Ukraine does not have satellites and surveillance equipment, not to the degree that they need. That is supplied by the United States. At what point, folks, is it actual, literal involvement by our military? And to stop being taken as, well, we're just, bystanders and supporting. Right? I remember George W. Bush saying, either you're with us or you're against us. That was the Bush doctrine. And America stood up and said, okay, we can go with that. You're either with us or you're against us. Right? While it does have some, as a philosophy, it has a couple of failures. It's still something Russia can say, well, you're not for us, and you appear to be against us, and you're really taking a helping hand. You're giving weapons to Ukraine to kill Russians. Now, in the United States of America, we're being told that if a firearms manufacturer sells a gun to a person, and that person uses that gun in a crime, then the injured party can sue the gun manufacturer. So if the United States government knowingly gives weapons to Ukraine, knowing they're going to be used to kill Russians, then the U.S. is willing to allow Russians to be killed with their weapons. They're going into it knowing it is the United States to be held responsible for that, since they know they're going to be used as weapons of war. See, the argument can be made. The argument can be made that Russia, right, can step up and take other immediate action against Europe, NATO, UK, and the US government. It could do that at any time, folks. It could compound and confound the West if Russia makes a bigger move on Ukraine. At the same time, folks, that China makes a big move on Taiwan. Back to Taiwan. There has been no better time than right now for China to make its move. Its pieces are all in position. They've been practicing for this for days, weeks, months, and yes, even years. They have the political statements in line. They have the support as much as they need from the Chinese people. They have an allied relationship with many nations around the world. China does, including Russia. They have all the support, all the energy, everything they need. And the West, for all it has to say, the United States and Europe, they need China because they have an over-reliance upon Chinese goods for China to supply both Europe and the United States with its necessities. So Europe has its balls held firmly by Russia, and Europe and the United States have their balls, well, snugly gripped by China. China's made its case. China now has all its pieces in position. The timing couldn't be better. So, folks, China set to invade Taiwan. True or false? The consequences of this would be disastrous for you and I. Not as disastrous as it is for the people of Taiwan, but it would set the stage for even harder times. Are you prepared for the consequences? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine means it's self-defense. Are you prepared with a plan? Go to thepreparedmind.club, folks. Sign up. Premium newsletter. Actually, there's a free newsletter there. We have premium service for only $2 a month, and we need your support. Additionally, folks, in addition to saying, I want you to sign up for the premium newsletter, the premium service, which is live video participation on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, right? And a Q&A. And I want you to take this internet address right up here, send that to 5 people and say, wake up, right? Send this very video. China is set to invade Taiwan. So they start thinking and see a bigger picture. And then they can get prepared. They can go to the club. They can get the items they need. Everyone needs to wake up. Everyone needs to take action. Prep to action. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a patriot and a prepper? God bless America. Semper Fi.